late night, come home, work sucks.
Hey, how you doing? Talking trash. Not Kyle Goyette. Don't
Nope.
be confused by the looks. This is Josh Goyette.
Still the guy on the right, but not Kyle.
Still the guy on the right. I don't know. I don't think you know nothing. I got to be honest with you. I'm not gonna say that you know nothing like your brother.
Okay.
I just can't do that to you. But if the guy that's regularly on the right were here, I would be ripping into him right now. But he's not here. He's decided that he's going to play intramural softball today, a team that both you and I are on. He decided he was going to play and ditch the show. We're mad about it, and I'm sure actually the fans at home are probably pretty excited about it.
Okay.
So that's why we decided to come from Fenway today, because we know how much Kyle loves Fenway. So, not that I'm a big fan either, but hey, we're here today.
Like we
The
said
Green Monster
earlier,
behind us.
sitting on the Green Monster, blessed place to see it from right here.
All right, well, anyway, in other show news, we finally got the show up on YouTube. You can see it at the website. We can get there by going to my website, which is on the bottom of the screen normally. JasonPiche.com. The Talking Trash page is there. You can watch full episodes of the show. I'll try to get them up pretty regularly, maybe a day or two after the show airs. But now, not just people in the local Burlington area, or 12 cities and towns of Vermont, I should say, can see the show. We can go global now.
That's
so
right.
Anybody can watch the show who wants to. And speaking of somebody who watched the show, I got some hate mail the other day.
Got some hate mail.
We get some emails from time to time. Usually
All
I
right.
kind of save them all up, and then I go through them all at a time. I did not get that today. I just have this one that I was thinking of. I didn't print it all out, but one fella in particular emailed the show and said that we should stop doing the show, that the guy on the right knows nothing. But I got to tell you, I hate to stick up for him, and he's not even here to enjoy this moment, but he did pick the Spurs to play the Cavs at the beginning of the NBA playoffs, so he doesn't know completely nothing. It's just pretty darn close.
It's amazing to me that at the beginning of any playoffs, that someone is forced to pick two teams, and then by a chance of events, LeBron's 48 points, I believe it was, in the six quarters of that game, brings them back into that series. They win it, and I guess the rest is history, because now the Cavs are going to play the Spurs in the championship, and I don't feel one way or another. If LeBron gets it done, I think that's great. If the Spurs win another one and just goes and says Tim Duncan's the greatest forward alive ever.
Well, you know, I sat here last week, and you know, it's funny sometimes I don't even watch the show, but because I'm on the show. But I did actually watch the show the other day, and realized that most of everything we said on the show was no longer relevant. Man, this was one of the things. I know I went off on a rant about how awful the Cavs were, and I still don't feel like the Cavaliers are a very good team. Right. I know a lot of people would definitely agree with that one. They're not a very good team. But LeBron James is playing out of his mind right now, and he might just be enough to get it done. But you know what? I just don't think so. I think the Spurs are going to have Bruce Bowen really, really, really bothering him, and I don't see anybody else on that team stepping up enough. I think the Cavs would be lucky to get one game, but with the way LeBron is playing, I guess anything is possible, which is scary because this is not a very good basketball team.
No, I definitely agree. The Cavaliers are, I think they're a few components short of a total team that competes as a team. I think at moments they show teamwork, but I think that team is centered just on what LeBron does. If he has a bad game, I feel like they don't have anyone else that can lift them up to give him a chance to win. So it's based on how he plays.
I'm not anti-LeBron.
No,
I like his game. I like watching him. I just really want him to have some better players around him for the championship run. So I was hoping he would lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, and that the Cavs would realize, hey, we got to get some better players in here. They need to, get some legitimate free agents and or something. You know what I mean? I mean, Fred Gibson's been playing well for them, the rookie from Texas. That's an unexpected surprise. Some other guys have stepped up a little bit, but let's be frank, these guys are all role players. And now Jordan did some good things with guys like Will Perdue and John Paxson, but these guys are at that level. But he also had Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman or Horace Grant. I mean, he had some other all-star players around him. I don't feel anybody else on the Cavs is really that worthy of all-star status. Larry Hughes has his moments, but Zdrunas Ilgauskas, maybe you can make the argument, but I don't know.
I don't think so.
He just sort of scrapes up what's in the middle. He does what he has to do, I guess.
And I sort of feel like LeBron is following in the footsteps of Jordan, because I remember there was a time when Jordan didn't even have guys like Scottie Pippen. He wasn't even around yet. And I believe he put down 68 points at the Garden against the
Right.
Celtics.
But he
When
never
they
made.
had-
But he
and they
never
had
made the
quality
finals
guys.
with nobody else.
This is true. That's
And that's
why
what makes this impressive.
LeBron. Yeah, this may be the greatest performance ever of the 48.
However, the teams that Jordan had to go up against were much, much better and talented right through. And this Eastern Conference is weak. I mean, let's be frank. In the NBA, the Eastern Conference is weak. They don't have a lot of good teams. So really, the Cavaliers were second going into the playoffs. And yet they didn't have a lot of respect.
You know what will make the East better?
What?
Let's trade Kobe from the Lakers.
This is the other thing.
Not the Spurs. Let's trade him from the Lakers to the Knicks, and we'll give the Lakers half the profits of Madison Square Garden. How's that?
I don't think
That's
the
a fair
Lakers
trade.
would want that. And that was the other thing that we spoke of at length last week was the fact that Kobe had demanded a trade. Well, it turns out that ended up that was not true.
Right.
And
he
that
didn't
was
want
sort of a bogus story that was out
the
for
trade.
2 hours, and we happened to have our show on during those 2 hours. So, we looked like idiots all week.
Well,
But, it happens, and now we'll look like idiots for the rest of the time because it's on YouTube.
well, that's another thing, though. What's going on with guys in basketball lately? Billy Donovan of the Orlando Magic. I wanted to hit with you with this earlier today, but Billy Donovan signs a deal and says he wants to coach the Orlando Magic with 2-star components in line with, who do they got there? The big guy.
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard. I couldn't think of his name. And Jameer Nelson.
I know, yeah.
And
I
now
don't know if Jameer Nelson is quite star-worthy yet. Let's not.
that's what they were saying. Well,
ease
anyway,
up on that.
he signs the deal. He thinks he's got some key positions filled. Takes the weekend to think about it, and then decides, no, I don't want the job. I'll take the 5-year rule that says I can't come and apply for another job in the NBA, and he's going to go back to the University of Florida?
I do have various
What's it
comments
about?
on
What's
that.
that about?
As you know, I was gone all weekend, and
Yep.
a lot of times when I'm gone over the weekend, I don't get to keep up with sports as much. If you're staying over at somebody else's house, you're not going to turn their TV on to SportsCenter, even
Right.
though all TVs should always be tuned to sports at every time. But that's just me. But anyway, so I get a little out of it, and I don't know what's going on. And then on, I think it was Sunday, all of a sudden I did get a chance to watch SportsCenter, and it was on. And I see Billy Donovan sitting in front of an Orlando Magic sign, and I'm like, oh, yeah! And then all of a sudden he's announcing, and they're telling the story about how he's going back to Florida. And I'm like, wait, when was he with the Magic?
Yeah.
I guess I missed that. So I guess I never really had that weekend to enjoy him as coach. So personally, I don't really miss him because we never had him. But I think it's bogus. I don't understand how people can do that. I do believe that there was a host that might be on the show that could tell us something about making a commitment, not showing up. But I don't know. Maybe now we'll have to inflict a 5-show penalty.
5.